High above the earth, a shadow slices through the clouds at nearly 240 miles per hour, faster than a Formula One car, faster than the dive of any other creature alive. For a heartbeat, the world holds its breath. Then, with the precision of an arrow shot from the hands of an ancient god, the Peregrine Falcon strikes. The prey never knew what hit it. You've just witnessed the fastest animal on planet Earth, and one of nature's most extraordinary survivors. But this story, the Falcon's story, begins not in the skyscraper shadows of modern cities, but millions of years ago, when the world was wilder, younger, and untamed. Imagine a prehistoric sky, 5 million years in the past, where early falcon ancestors learned to harness the wind like sculptors shape clay. They evolved long, tapered wings that could slice the air and eyes so sharp they could spot prey from over a mile away. Their beaks, hooked and razor-edged, became perfect tools for precision hunting. Over the ages, the peregrine falcon emerged as a master of the dive or stoop, a technique honed by generations that knew only two rules: fly fast and strike hard. This was no accident of nature. This was evolution crafting the ultimate aerial predator. For millennia, they ruled the skies. From the Arctic tundra to tropical deserts, they adapted to nearly every continent except Antarctica. Their intelligence rivaled their speed. Falcons learned not just to chase prey, but to anticipate its next move. In the quiet moments, perched high on a cliffside, they'd scan the horizon with an unblinking gaze that seemed to pierce time itself. Humans, of course, noticed. Ancient cultures saw something almost divine in these birds. In Egypt, falcons were sacred to Horus, the sky god, a symbol of power, protection, and kingship. Medieval nobles in Europe treasured them for falconry, training them to hunt with deadly elegance. Picture a hooded falcon perched on a leather glove, its talons gripping tight, waiting for that moment when it could explode into the air. For centuries, they were partners in the hunt, respected, admired, and sometimes feared. But admiration has always been a fragile shield against harm. By the mid-20th century, the relationship between humans and peregrines began to sour, though not out of malice. In our quest to control pests and boost crop yields, humanity unleashed a chemical storm. Pesticides like DDT. Invisible to the naked eye, these toxins infiltrated the falcon's world. They didn't kill the adults outright, but they did something crueler. They weakened their eggshells. Fragile shells would crack under the weight of a mother's care, and entire generations were lost before they even began. By the 1960s, peregrine falcons vanished entirely from parts of North America and Europe. It was as if the wind had suddenly gone quiet. Yet this is where the story turns from tragedy to resilience. Scientists, conservationists, and ordinary people refuse to let the falcon's shadow disappear from our skies. Through captive breeding programs and the banning of DDT in many countries, peregrines were given a fighting chance. And here, I guess, where it gets interesting. Freed from the cliffs and wild ledges of their ancestors, some falcons moved into the hearts of cities. Skyscrapers became their new cliffs, pigeons their new prey. You might not expect it, but the fastest animal alive now lives just a short flight from your local coffee shop. Still, the challenges are far from over. Habitat loss remains a looming threat, especially for wild populations that still depend on untouched landscapes. Expanding urbanization can crowd their natural nesting sites, and climate change brings unpredictable weather patterns that disrupt migration and hunting cycles. In some regions, illegal capture for falconry still persists, with black market prices reaching tens of thousands of dollars for a single bird. And then there are the quieter dangers. Avian diseases like trichomoniasis can spread through their prey, while pollutants, heavy metals, microplastics, creep back into food chains. Even their newfound city homes come with risks. collisions with glass buildings, entanglement in man-made debris, and the simple fact that living close to humans means facing the unpredictable consequences of our world. Statistically, the Peregrine Falcon has made one of the greatest wildlife comebacks of the 20th century. In the U.S. alone, their numbers have rebounded from near zero to over 3,000 breeding pairs. But numbers can be deceiving. These victories are fragile, and nature's balance is always in flux. One bad policy decision, one unchecked pollutant, and we could find ourselves watching the same tragic decline all over again. If you step back and look at the bigger picture, the Peregrine Falcon's journey tells us something uncomfortable about humanity. We're capable of destroying what we love, sometimes without even realizing it. But we're also capable of extraordinary acts of restoration. The same species that nearly erased the falcon also brought it back from the brink. It's a reminder that our choices ripple through the natural world like wind across the open sky. And yes, I know, talking about environmental collapse can feel heavy. So here's your moment of levity. Somewhere right now, in a bustling city, a peregrine falcon is perched on the 50th floor of an office building, staring down at a pigeon and thinking, lunch. Even in the face of everything, life finds a way to keep its sense of humor. But jokes aside, their future depends on what we do next. Support conservation programs, protect natural habitats, advocate for policies that keep toxins out of our ecosystems. And maybe, the next time you see a falcon cut through the sky like a living missile, you'll remember that this isn't just an animal. It is the culmination of millions of years of evolution, survival, and resilience. So if the Peregrine Falcon's story inspired you, if it made you feel the rush of that 240-mile-per-hour dive, the quiet strength of a parent guarding its nest, or the hope of a species reborn, don't just close this video and move on. Leave a like to help others find this story. Drop a comment with your thoughts or your own wildlife encounters. And subscribe, because there are countless more journeys to share. Journeys where speed, strength, and survival meet the fragile beauty of our natural world. After all, the sky is still theirs, but for how long depends on us.